candidates are running for the position. One of our own members' spouse is stepping down after many, many years. How many years has it been, Bill? For Betty? Isn't she coming down?
12?
12 years? I had to think about that.
Yeah, that was a slight difference.
Caught you off guard. At this time, I'm going to call the candidates that are running, and as I call you up, if you would sit at the chair next to me and then proceeding down. We're going alphabetical order. First candidate that is running is Daniel Gallagher. Second candidate is Doug Masteller. Third candidate is David Lewis Milstein. Fourth candidate is Robert Roth. Fifth candidate is Tammy Strong. And sixth candidate is Jim Zabo. You may all have a seat. And just to go over a little housekeeping rules, I will give you 5 minutes to speak. At the 4th minute, I will stand up, so you'll know that you have 1 minute to close, and at the 5th minute, I will yank you off the podium. So at this time, Mike isn't on?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's on.
You know what? Give me 1 second. How's that? Better?
About the same.
About the same? Well, then we're going to crank it up. How's that? As long as we don't get any feedback. There we go. Okay, hopefully everybody heard what I did say, because I am not going to repeat it. And at this time, I'd like to call up Dan Gallagher. Let's please welcome Dan.
Seems a little funny standing behind a microphone when I usually walk around to give presentations. But first I wanted to introduce myself to you. I'm Daniel Gallagher. I live in Macedonia. Lived here since, I guess, the last 8 years, 8.5 years or so I've been in Macedonia. I grew up in Kent. I thought maybe what I'd do is just provide a little bit of background information for you about me so you could get to know me. Some of you may remember me a year or so ago. I was in talking to you about football officiating, so it's a little different topic than we have now. But I'm grateful to be here. Appreciate you taking the time to hear from all of us. And then I'd like to just talk to you a little bit about why I want to be part of the school board again. First of all, personally, I'm married to Nikki Gallagher. I've been married for 14 years. I have 3 daughters. Live right behind Lisa. So she sees the kids on the trampoline. I have a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, and an 8-year-old. All 3 of my daughters are in different schools within the district. My educational background is started out at Virginia Tech, transferred back to Kent State University, got my undergrad in business, my master's degree in public administration. I work for Ernst & Young, and I've been there for close to 17 years now, and it's all been in a finance capacity, operational management. I manage a group of people across the U.S. and Canada, and it's been a great experience for me. I really appreciate it. The opportunity to work at Ernst & Young, it's been just a great place to be. People have asked me why I want to run for the school board. And I think probably the first thing that I mention is my grandfather used to tell me about giving back to the community, and it was your civic responsibility to do so. I think for you and members of the Rotary, you understand that probably more than anybody. So I think that's first and foremost why I want to be part of the school board. Second part is I believe tremendously in great education. I think anyone that would talk to me understands the importance that I place on education. Certainly my kids would understand that when I drill them every night about homework and making sure they're studying and things like that. I think the second part is that I believe from a financial responsibility standpoint, I bring a set of expertise that I can work with people within the district and work with the community members so that they understand sort of the inner workings of what the school is doing. And then when I work with the school administrators, to try to let them know that here's some of the considerations or comments from community members that we should try to address. And so I think what I bring to the table is the ability to listen and to hear people, hear their concerns, and also be able to take those concerns and sort of filter through what I think might be relevant for our administrators. I don't believe my job is to run the schools. be the first one to tell you that we've hired some great people, members of this organization that run the schools, and I think they do a great job of doing that. I'm very proud to be part of the school board over the last 4 years, and I'm very proud to work with the current school board members. I think we have a great cohesive unit. We don't always agree on everything, but I think we're respectful of each other. We listen to each other. We try to come up with the right response for the schools and for the community. How's that?
Thank you. Our next candidate that's running is Doug Masteller. Doug?
Thanks, David. Thanks, Sylvia, and thanks all you Rotarians for inviting me here today. I have spoke a couple times before here, but I thought I'd maybe reintroduce myself just to give you a little background. My name is Doug Masteller. I'm a 18-year resident of Macedonia. I'm married. My wife Cindy and I got married in 1994, and we have 3 children, all in Nordonia High School. It's a junior and 2 freshmen. I'm employed by Ernst & Young also, as it happens. Daniel and I work in different divisions, different regions. I'm a regional finance director and help manage budgets and plans and really strategic decisions for the business of Ernst & Young. It's really been an excellent experience, and it does give me a lot of relevant background in terms of being involved in managing the school district. Nordonia schools have really been challenged over the 8 years that I've been on the school board. Of course, we went through one of the worst recessions in a generation or two. The state has done a lot to cut our funding. And in fact, we've lost something in the neighborhood of $2 million a year in tangible personal property tax, which has put a lot of pressure on local taxpayers, potentially. Certainly a lot of pressure on the schools. Nonetheless, I think the schools are really in great shape. If you take a look around and look at where we're at, I think we're in fantastic shape. We're certainly much, much better off than we were 8 years ago. We've just received the highest state report card score in the history of the schools. We've been excellent with distinction for 3 of the last 4 years. Now the state's come back and said, hey, we're going to change the report card, we're going to change the way we do things, we're going to raise the standards, we're going to implement national standards, Common Core standards. But we've been put in a position and we've adapted. Our leadership team, as Daniel mentioned, has done a fantastic job of putting us in a position to succeed against these new common standards. If you get beyond just the report card kind of stuff, the quantifiable stuff, we have a lot of really, really good things going on at the schools. If you look at extracurriculars, you look at sports, you look at the band, you look at things like mock trial and science Olympiad, all of them have been rewarded and awarded fantastic accolades over the last few years. If you haven't been to the football games on Friday night, or if you haven't seen the band perform lately, I'd really encourage you to do that. They are just absolutely fantastic. And that's just one example of what's going on outside of the academic arena. I think even more important than that, we really do a good job of preparing kids for life after high school, whether it's the military, work, college, whatever it is. They're really in good position. We've had record numbers of scholarships awarded in the last several years, and kids have had all kinds of successes beyond the gates of Nordonia High School. We've done all this while we've managed to maintain the 3rd lowest tax rate in all of Summit County. We've had below average spending, and our spending per pupil is actually flat over the last several years, which we've managed to do while also putting more dollars back into the classroom. If you have any doubts about the quality of education in Nordonia, I'd really encourage you to go out into the classrooms, go to the schools, or talk with our administrators or our teachers. I know a lot of you know Joe Clark, a lot of you know Ryan Durr, a lot of you know Karen Obertil. They do an excellent job, and I think you'll really be impressed if you spend some time talking with the people that lead our schools on a day-to-day basis. The district is excellent for a number of reasons. Obviously, we need to have excellent community and parental support, and I think we're blessed to have that here in Nordonia. You also have to have a good board, a board which understands its role, listens to the community, and works with the administration to develop balanced solutions. Now, if you look at what the board actually does, it's provide governance to the schools. We don't manage day-to-day operations. We set policy and we establish a tone for the district, and we hired the administrative team that does do the day-to-day management of the district. Our administrative team is excellent. If you know Joe Clark, if you know Karen Obertil, you know that we are in excellent hands. They've done a lot of things to open up communication. They've done a lot of things to improve the operational performance of the district. We're not necessarily satisfied with where we're at. We've got room for improvement, we know that, but we're definitely riding a tremendous positive momentum. The wave is definitely moving forward in a good direction. Providing governance to a school district is a complex and challenging job, and I believe experience plays an important role in doing that well. Nonetheless, I think as a voter, the number one question I would ask of a school board candidate is not how much they know, but how much they care. I really think it's important that people understand how much you care about not only the schools and the children, but the community as a whole. I think I've demonstrated over the last 8 years that I do care a lot about the schools, I do care a lot about the district, the children, and the community. Not everyone will agree with every decision that's been made over the last 8 years, but I think if you take a step back and really look at the overall position of the school board, the overall position of the school district, the overall position of Nordonia schools in the community, you'll see that we are better than we've ever been. And I really appreciate your inviting me here today. I hope the community chooses to continue the positive momentum, and I ask for your vote on November 5th. Thank you.
Our next candidate is David Lewis Milstein. David.
Good day. My name's David Lewis, and I'm a candidate for the school board. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. You see, I believe that a properly run school system is essential to the health of our community. When a potential resident or business is considering locating here, one of the most important factors they consider is the quality of the school system. As most of you know, the value of your homes and property is directly related to how attractive our community is to others. If we are viewed as having an excellent school system, we can expect to attract new residents and businesses, thus helping to ensure our community continues to grow and prosper. I believe I'm uniquely qualified for this position. It's also been a lifelong goal of mine to serve in this capacity. I graduated from a rival of Nordonia, West Geauga High School. I went off to college, paid my way working as a cook. I graduated with a mechanical engineering degree and went on to work for a local Fortune 100 corporation here in town, gaining experience eventually becoming the director for the worldwide capital expansion and facilities programs. I continued to educate myself, obtained a Master of Business Administration with a major in finance. Eventually, I left the corporate world, started my own business, which has had a measure of success. I now operate a real estate development property management firm here in town. Along the way, I've gained experience working with trade unions and negotiating contracts. I've acquired many years of experience in design, construction, contracting, and operations management. The skills I have acquired could be beneficial to improving the operations of our school system. While I believe we have a positive track record in delivering an excellent education to our children, I also believe that over the past several years, there have been some indications that we are at risk of declining. Today, school systems are challenged by increasing regulation from the state and federal government and pressure from us taxpayers, individuals I like to call stakeholders, since we're the ones placing our money at stake with the school system's management. Pressure from stakeholders to contain costs while continuing to deliver basic essential services necessary for above-average education. From what I've observed, there are legitimate questions about what basic services a school system, specifically our school system, is expected to provide. And it's the responsibility of the school board to establish the policies that guide the administration toward providing these things. As I go door to door meeting residents, I continue to be exposed to common themes. These themes warrant careful policy evaluation going forward. Issues such as child safety, busing, half-day kindergarten, language and music in the lower grades, teachers' contributions toward their health care, completion of the high school athletic facilities, disposition of the Sagamore property, and even outsourcing to contractors. These all seem to be the issues of the day. Each of these issues can be directly linked to a common theme. I like to call that effective financial responsibility. Today, the school system is being driven toward delivering the same or more with less money. This is an area in which I'm uniquely qualified. I've spent many years doing the same for large businesses, my own business, and even with my own personal household, just like many of you with your households and your businesses. While I could stand here and cite numerous financial issues associated with the current board and school operations, there's little value in pointing out missives that are already done. We need to be looking forward and considering carefully what is most important to the community to ensure we stay on course in delivering excellence. Let me assure you, I believe in common sense decision making. I can't ask my customers for more money without first demonstrating to them I'm delivering the best possible product at the lowest possible cost. I must communicate with them openly and honestly, regularly, and earn their confidence and trust if I expect to have a positive relationship with them. We must apply the same approach to operating our school system going forward, so we can continue to ensure the community remains an attractive place to live and prosper. In conclusion, I'd like you to consider me for the school board. I can promise you that I'll bring integrity and trust to the table in all that I do, and I'll always represent you, the stakeholders, first and foremost. For you Rotarians, I'd especially like to thank you for the opportunity to speak today. On a personal note, I have a special appreciation for the 4 principles and the 4-way test, and I'd just like you to know that even though I'm not a member of the Rotary, I do try to practice those same principles in all of my affairs. Thank you.
Thank you. And our next candidate is Robert Roth. Robert?
How you doing? My name's Robert Roth. I'm running for school board. I'm a longtime resident of this area for 50 years. I have 3 grown daughters that have graduated from the Nordonia schools. I just recently was married 6 years ago, and have 2 stepsons that are in the school district now that are a freshman and a sophomore. I don't have as much knowledge and abilities that the rest of the candidates do, but I do have common sense and seen everything that's happened in the last 20 years and how much things have changed in the school district. I look around, I'm a little disappointed at some of the stuff that we've done as a school board, doing projects and only finishing half the projects. I mean, excuse me. I get a little disappointed when I drive down Route 8 and I go by the wonderful, beautiful stadium that we built back there, but nobody can see it because you have a mound of dirt covering the thing. If I get an elected school board, I'm going to be trying to do things to get things accomplished and finished that we have not finished yet. So I would appreciate, your vote in November. Thank you.
And our next candidate is Tammy Strong. Tammy?
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Tammy Strong. My husband, who is here with me today, and I have lived in Sagamore Hills for almost 15 years. We have 2 sons, one in the middle school and one in Lee Eaton. I have a bachelor's degree in accounting from the University of Akron and over 20 years of business and accounting experience. My husband and I are both actively involved in schools and PTA. You can always find one of us at one of the schools at least one day a week volunteering in the classrooms or at one of the many events sponsored by the PTA. Over the past 8 years, I have held a variety of PTA board positions and have served on many committees, including treasurer, council delegate, and audit committee. I am currently the Nordonia Council of PTA's treasurer. Last year, my husband and I received the Ohio PTA Outstanding Achievement Award from Rushwood Elementary. Even before our boys were school-aged, we were actively involved in the Nordonia Hills Preschool Parents Group. I've been co-facilitating a women's Bible study at our church for over 5 years, and I also work with our church's financial administrator. So why am I running for the school board? Because this is my community, my home, my school district, and if elected, this is the type of involvement and commitment I would bring to our school board. Right now, our district is faced with many challenges, such as implementing the new evaluation systems and Common Core state standards, finding a way to finish the athletic facilities, and full-time versus part-time kindergarten. The community wants busing return, finding a way to return programming that has been cut at the middle school, mainly foreign language and technology, and offer more AP classes at the high school to prepare our students for college in a growing global economy. There will be union negotiations this spring. Employees that have taken pay freezes for the past few years will be expecting some sort of increase. The employee's share of health care premiums is also another issue that I'm sure will come up during negotiations. On October 7th, I attended the board work session. I wish everyone in our community could have been in attendance. If you really want to know what is going on in our schools and what challenges our administration and educators face on a daily basis, this was the meeting to attend. Each school principal shared their goals for the coming year and also shared their concerns and accomplishments. The professionalism and commitment to our schools and students is remarkable. The new teacher evaluation system is very time-consuming, which in turn is costly to our district. 8 meetings per year per teacher. Teachers are required to establish a student learning objective and show value-added growth per student. Again, a time-consuming and costly state mandate that is not being funded by the state. When a student is already scoring at the advanced level, which is equivalent to when a student is already scoring at the advanced level in 3rd grade, then scores at the advanced level in 4th grade, the school will receive an A on the report card, which is equivalent to 1 year of growth. How can we expect it to improve when there is nowhere for improvement? So bugs need to be worked out of this new evaluation system, but it is at the expense of our district. Common Core. Many people are upset about the new Common Core standard. From my understanding, Common Core is still teaching the same skills, just using a different approach. The focus is on more analytical and critical thinking. Again, another time-consuming and costly, unfunded state mandate. Busing. I don't feel the state busing minimum for students in K through 8 that live 2 or more miles from their home applies to our day and age. I think it should be increased to students K through 12 that live a mile or more from their school. I have written to our governor with no response. Changes need to be made at the state level. Full day versus part-time kindergarten. I always wish they would have offered full day kindergarten for my boys. In 1st grade, they both needed reading intervention. But by 2nd grade, my oldest was reading above grade level. His reading test scores now are amazing. My youngest, on the other hand, struggled with reading and didn't reach grade level until 4th grade. Would full day kindergarten have made a difference? Looking back, I really don't think so. He still struggles with reading, but I don't attribute that to not having full day kindergarten. Reading is always going to be a challenge for him. Although I wish we could offer free full day kindergarten, I believe that at this time, due to our tight budget, it would be more beneficial to our students academically to first return or add services and programming at the high school and middle school, such as AP classes and foreign language. Then, after close review of the budget, find a way to fund full day kindergarten. A board member's role is one of guidance, not school management. Their first and greatest concern should always be the educational welfare of all the students in the district. The board needs to work together to set educational goals and establish and support effective policies based on state laws and community values. Decisions need to be based on facts and not the influence of individuals or special interest groups. I am not running for school board because I am dissatisfied with our current board. My dissatisfaction is with our state. But until changes happen at the state level, our school board, educators, administrators, parents, and community need to share in the accountability of our schools. Our schools are a direct reflection of our community. Even if you don't have children in the school, this is still your community, and you must decide what type of school district you want representing your community. These children are our future. They will make decisions for us, and I want the best possible education for them and future generations. Obviously, this is a great community to live in. Otherwise, you wouldn't have as many past Nordonia graduates coming back to live and work here. If an elementary school can raise $25,000 to build an outdoor learning center, imagine what we could do together as a community. Thank you for your time.
Thank
you. And our next candidate and last candidate is Jim Zabo. Jim?
Good afternoon. Thank you for opportunity to do this. My name is Jim Zabo, and I am a 1980 graduate in Nordonia. My wife is a 1982 grad, and my sons have both already graduated from the school district. I was born and raised in Macedonia back in 1962, and this is home. I'm a 20-year Navy veteran. I've lived in San Diego, I've lived in Richmond, I've lived in Christiansburg, Virginia, I've lived in Virginia Beach, Virginia as part of my tour. And when we decided at the end of my tour that we wanted to come back to home, that we knew this was the place to be for the schools, the quality of the education that I knew my children were going to get. After all, it served my wife and I very well as her family. In the Navy, I was an aviation structural mechanic specializing in hydraulics. I worked on the F-14 Tomcat, I worked on various helos, did tours on board aircraft carriers and helicopter assault ships. And what I learned in my job was various quality issues, and I also learned that you pay attention to details, because if you don't, somebody's going to die or get seriously hurt. And I've taken that with me all through my life. Currently, I'm an administrative human resources guy with Kent State University and Youngstown State University with their Army ROTC program. So I'm still involved with the military, even as a civilian who's done my time already. Again, administrative work, I deal with the college students coming into the program, their qualifications, make sure they meet expected requirements, do all the paperwork that allows them to commission and become a second lieutenant in the Army after they graduate. So again, basically my background skills have been geared toward attention to detail, dotting I's and crossing T's, as we shall say. Because a lot of times when I had those issues, it was very important. Lives and people's health was involved, so I carry that with me. After I got out, I was also involved with ISO certification with one of a manufacturing company in the Cleveland area here. So again, more quality issues along with administrative issues that I am very familiar with. Also my leadership, 20 years, believe it or not, you're leading a lot of people in a lot of different things, and you get to know how to work with people and achieve goals and accomplish the tasking that needs to be accomplished. Why am I running for school board? The reason I'm running for school board basically is after I came home here, we had some economic issues and we also had some community issues. 3 bond issues for a stadium got a little contentious, and then shortly, almost immediately afterwards, we had 6 operating levies get put on the ballot consecutively. So we're looking at 9 ballot issues within a 5-year period. The state of our schools is good as far as our education goes. Obviously, the report cards reflect that, and that's a testament to the teachers, students, and parents with their children. However, the state of the community, based on my experience, is not so good. We need to get trust back. The people of our community support our schools. They understand the principles of what we're trying to do, but I feel there's a disconnect, and I think we need to make that reconnection, bridge that gap. That's one of the things that I would like to do, is be more representative and attuned to what's going on in our community, especially economically, with the issues that we went through. It got a little ostentatious and a little confrontational during that time frame, and the community just did not feel that they were an integral part of what was going on with our district. And my opinion on that is the public is the greatest resource we have for our school district outside of the classroom and outside of the home where the parents are the keys. And we've got to get that bond back with our community. Hopefully we can do that. Part of the tasking that I want to do is, like I said, bridge that gap. We do have so many issues to concern ourselves with. I believe our schools are fine in the portion of letting teachers do what they need to do. But again, as it was touched on before, busing is very important to our residents. We need to ensure that our district doesn't make missteps as far as planning the stadium issue again. Make sure that the information that our district puts out is accurate, honest, and is understood by the public as to what they can do. We need to engage the public more on how our district operates and show them the importance of their contribution. I believe that as an elected official, I work for the people that elect me. My 20 years military service has shown me what service is about. Service is about what you do and that you care to do it. It's about selflessness, not selfishness. And I bring that core value with me to the things I do, and I know I'll bring it to the school board as well, because in the Navy, it was honor, courage, and commitment, and that's what we live by. We took care of each other, we looked out for each other, we did the right things at the right time, and we got the job done. So basically, I've served my country, now I've come home, I want to serve my community. Thank you.
Okay, at this time we have 5 minutes, so we're only going to have time for one question for all the candidates to answer. So who would like to have the best question out there? And candidates, if you would respond within 30 seconds. Carol.
Okay, I don't believe that Common Core is a good thing for our young people today. Convince me. Should I change my mind, or should you change the state of Ohio's mind and not institute it in Nordonia Hills?
Do you want me to answer that first, Jen? First off, I agree completely. There isn't one state legislature in our country that voted to approve Common Core. So we've got a little bit of an issue. We talk about the excellence that we've achieved here. Well, now all of a sudden we've accepted being common. I disagree with that. There's a lot of issues involved with how Common Core came to be and why it's in place. Many more things that we can discuss. We do not have time to discuss some of the intricacies that I think you're familiar with already based on your question. But I agree. I can't convince you that Common Core is a good thing simply because of how it was established with stimulus money and being run through the Race to the Top organization through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So I understand we need to work at the state level. We've got to put pressure on Columbus for that one.
Thank you, Jim. Tammy, would you like to respond to that question?
Sure.
Come on up here.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to have a good answer for this or not, because this is something new. And until it's been in place for a few years, you're not going to really be able to measure it. I think there are good points to it, because my understanding is that we can still select how we're going to teach. Common Core is to, across the board, so everyone's teaching the same subjects at the same time, but it's getting the kids deeper involved in their critical and analytical thinking. There is so much information about Common Core. There's pros and there's cons, and I think that's something that needs to be weighed. Like I said, I don't have the answer right now. I know there are good points, I know there are bad points, but it is state mandated. So I know there's a group against Common Core, but is it a group against Common Core because it's a change and they don't understand it, or is it a group against Common Core because they don't believe what it stands for? That's where you need to look into it and make sure you understand the difference there. I'm not saying you, but in general, people, because a lot of times it's change isn't good, and they're going to fight it regardless. So I think it is worth looking further into, and I think the board can look further into that, and I'm sure Todd over there can give us more information on Common Core. It's a very complex system now. I don't think anyone in 30 seconds could explain Common Core to anybody, so, but I do appreciate that, and I understand that. Thank you.
Thank you. So far, she's right. Nobody's been able to do it in 30 seconds. Robert?
I really can't give you an answer on that because I'm not really up on the Common Core because of all the changes. It seems that every year is a different change in the way we educate our children, so I really can't give you a good answer on that. Thank you.
David?
I don't know at this point. I've learned quite a bit about Common Core. I've learned quite a bit about the measuring systems used. I think the jury's still out. The one thing I do know is that historically, when government comes up with a better mousetrap, usually it requires a whole bunch of tinkering with it before it works right. I think time will reveal whether it's appropriate or not. I don't think it's possible for us to, in Macedonia or in the Nordonia School District, to just say, no, we're not going to execute and implement it. It'd be nice if it was that easy. If we found something we didn't like that we could do, but I don't think it's realistic. I think we have a responsibility to find out, is there value in it? And acquire data on it and look at it. And then maybe reconsider what we should be doing.
Thank you. And Doug?
Thanks, David. If you look back at the genesis of Common Core, it really does go back to accountability. And for years we've been hearing now how the United States is falling behind other countries in the world because our standards aren't high enough. Even if you look in the state of Ohio, you see Nordonia schools are vastly different than Hudson schools and vastly different than Cleveland schools in terms of expectations, in terms of what they teach. And so establishing accountability and having a baseline that everyone's expected to meet, I think, is a good thing. Of course, the devil's in the details, and we'll see whether or not it works out to our benefit or not. But I think what we need to do at the local level is make sure that we're not just taking the mandate from the state at face value. We need to evaluate every situation. We need to decide if we want to offer more or different variations on the Common Core so that we do the best for our students here in Nordonia.
Thank you. And Dan?
Last but not least, I don't know if anyone's convinced you yet. I think when you look at the Common Core, I think it's critical that we have some trust and faith in the people that are making some of these decisions. When I look at our superintendent and I look at his leadership team, if you haven't gotten a chance to know them yet, I would encourage you to talk to them, because when we talk to them and we have work sessions and board meetings, we go over a lot of this information. We talk about the Common Core. We talk about the evaluation system for our teachers. We talk about what the state is requiring us to do. I look at some of the things that we did with the Race to the Top, the funds that we received for Race to the Top. I think it's been tremendous to this district. Similar to what the other people have said, I think it's too early to tell if it's going to be successful or not. The people that at the state who had given us guidance on Common Core were people that were part of the education system. When we look at the teachers' evaluation system, I think it's the right way to go. I do. I think we need to have some accountability, and I think that it's beneficial for our district to reward our teachers that are superstar teachers, and I think we probably have all seen some of those teachers. We look at some of the requirements for our students and some of this class schedules that they have to take, and I think it's critical for some of their development to have some consistency in how they're being taught, the timing that they're being taught. But once again, as Doug said, the devil is in the details, and I think as time goes on, we'll have a better sense. And I think we probably all know that the state will probably change things anyway. And so there will be, as David said, some tinkering, and there'll be some changes to it. And I think it'll come from people that are giving feedback that are in that realm and people that are dealing with it every single day. Thanks.
Thank you. And at this time, I'd like to turn this back over to our president, Sylvia Hennigan. Thank you for all coming out.
Thanks, everybody, for coming. We are adjourned. Thank you very much. Thanks.